Folks, we are back. The Dream Team is back again. Jack is back in the States. They tried to keep him in Africa, but America took him back, one of our greatest assets. He's here in the building. Good to see you, bud. Welcome home. How you feeling? Is it nice to be back in America?
Thank you. Yes, it is. It was a good trip, but definitely happy to be back. It took me about 3 days to get home, so it was good.
I know you were missing the red, white, and blue, dude. I know being away from the motherland is a painful journey for you, but you're back in your compound, you're hanging out, good for you for seeing the world and then coming back to where it's safe and nice and healthy.
Thank you. Yeah, it was good, but it was about 115-degree temperature difference between where I was and where I came back to. So that was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
I'd rather be cold than sweating all day.
Yeah. So, okay. I want to know, cause I feel like now you've been, now you can be my teacher about Ghana because I don't know shit about Ghana. So how are the Ghana people? Are they chill?
Super friendly. Like
super friendly people.
Very nice, happy. Very, very nice people, yeah.
And are they all Christians?
Not all, but a lot. And there's
That's what Jesus will do for you, which is just make you happy.
Yeah, there's like Pentecostal out in the country, and then most of it's like they call it a charismatic church, where it's like people like dancing and jumping around and yelling. It's pretty casual. But I think that's what most people are in churches like that. So it's fun. It's not like guilty church. It's fun dancing church.
Fun dancing church, yeah. Okay, so they're good people. How would you say Ghanese? How would you say
Ghanaian?
Ghanaian. The Ghanaian people. They're good, solid folk. Now, are they speaking English or French?
English. English, and then regional tribal languages that are various throughout the country. Yeah. So the main one in the part of the country where I was is called pronounced Twi, Twi, and that's sort of their ancient tribal language. But everyone also speaks English, particularly in the cities.
French? No French. I thought it was a French colony.
No French. It was a British colony.
It's a British colony.
But I also went to Togo in the country next door to the east, and that was a French colony.
Okay.
So no one there speaks English. So there it's their tribal, native tribal language and French, and the people there are much less friendly.
Togo.
Yeah, way less friendly.
Whoa. Damn, taking it from their French overlords to be not friendly.
Yeah, I think so.
That's funny to think that colonization might have also implanted just like, all right, so when you're a colony of us, you're kind of a douche to people like we are, like your parent colony, the French. You're kind of a dick. So, all right. So Togo people.
Yeah.
Didn't even know
totally was that way.
I didn't even.
It was super noticeably French too. Like, there's in the markets and stuff, there's ladies with big baskets of whatever carrying it around on their head.
Yeah.
And in Togo, I saw women doing that with huge platters of baguettes and croissants.
Wow.
It's like noticeably French versus Ghana.
Okay. Togo.
Yeah.
Didn't even really know that was a country, Togo. Never heard of Togo, I don't think.
I also went to the largest voodoo market in the world.
Oh, shit.
Where they sell supplies for voodoo.
In Ghana or Togo?
This was in Togo.
Okay. Well, I think I saw some pictures. These are like dead monkey skulls and birds and rats and shit.
Yep. Just basically piles of animal parts, heads mostly, feet, skins, bones, teeth that you can buy and then use in traditional voodoo practices.
And you need to keep buying this shit? I feel like once you get one monkey skull, I feel like you should be good for life. I don't, but all right.
Well, so there's a guy there who explained it to me, and he said there's a voodoo priest who has he called it an office, has an office at the market.
Okay.
So if you have a problem, and you can go to see him and then explain the problem,
dude,
and he tells you
that.
what to buy and what to do with it. So some of the things you might do with it is eat it or boil it into water and drink the water, or boil it into water and rub it into your skin, or mix two things together and drink that, or whatever. And the voodoo priest will tell you what to do.
And he's just sitting behind a desk. He's just like, yep, punching spreadsheets, don't have a lot of time. What is it? Your fucking wife's cheating on you? All right, boil this monkey skull, drink the damn water, dude, and she might come back. I don't know what to tell you. Get on out here. Get out of my fucking office. I'm fucking overworked today.
He's on Zoom.
Corporate is fucking up my ass, dude, all right? Take 3 rats, throw them at your child who'll get better grades. Jesus Christ. Now, voodoo, so that's like, I guess, so voodoo is in New Orleans and it's in Africa. So voodoo is just worldwide, I guess. Black magic.
Well, it comes from Africa, right? So, like, it comes from Togo, Benin, Ghana, like that area of West Africa.
Oh, they were inventors of voodoo.
Yeah,
they're
and
the
then
OGs.
It was brought to the Caribbean and New Orleans and places in South America by the slave trade that brought Africans over to the New World. So this was like the capital of voodoo, like where it's from.
Now, not to shit all over voodoo, but you would think that if it worked, you'd be like, well, let's place some curses on these guys who are enslaving us, correct? Don't you think
the guy there also told me that he has a very important distinction between voodoo and black magic. So this was a voodoo market. They practice voodoo. And voodoo, he said, is for making good things happen to yourself or to someone else.
Oh, okay. Wow, it really sounds... That's a scarier name. Voodoo sounds scary. It seems odd that it's for a positive benefit. Voodoo?
Yeah, it does sound scary. And I
mean, black magic sounds...
It was creepy. I didn't like it that much. It was really interesting, but I was like, I was ready to get out of there after I saw the place. It was like...
You just didn't like seeing all the dead animals and shit?
It's just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with killing animals for various purposes, but the reason that the way they were just like piled up and like rotting in the sun was just kind of, I didn't like it that much.
And that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I would say that was a big reason. I mean, when you kill an animal to eat it, it feeds you. When you kill a monkey to like give you some good luck, I mean...
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah. It's a little different for sure.
Wow. So this guy explained the difference between voodoo and black magic, much like a girl at Hot Topic would also be able to do the exact same thing. This is good. The Jack Skellington girl would also be able to give you this exact distinction. Voodoo's for good, black magic is for bad, okay?
They
Crazy.
Have Ouija boards out?
Yeah. All right. So, okay. All right. So we're learning. So what was your favorite part of the experience?
The whole trip?
Yeah, I mean, I know you were there for work, and I saw some of the things you posted about. It's like you were there to do like a CPR training video, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And
so the client was this NGO who we're connected with from other work here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And the director of that wanted to make a video that like teaches people how to do CPR, but also like explains what CPR is, and it just kind of explains the concept of like helping somebody in a medical emergency and how to call an ambulance. Because a lot of the people in particularly like outside of the capital city and other parts of the country, like there's a lot of people who don't even know that they have ambulances, which they do, but it's just kind of like raising awareness of here's what a medical emergency looks like. Here's what you can do to help somebody who's having one.
Damn.
And make it like picture Ghanaian people doing it in Ghana in places that people are familiar with, so it connects and like resonates with people seeing it.
Yeah, because you guys were doing it in like the markets and like outside and shit.
Yeah, in the market, in a church, in a restaurant, on just a regular street. So in places where it might happen in people's lives.
That's wild. So like, because as kids in America, it's like drilled into your head early. If you need help, call 911. Like it's just like I feel like a 5-year-old could easily call 911 in the States because they're just like, yeah, I know these are the 3 numbers I need to know if mom or dad is, sick or whatever,
Yeah.
But there it's just like, no, that's not the case.
I mean, they have ambulances, they have hospitals, they have, obviously doctors and all that
Right.
stuff, but it's still, they're not, might be like a relatively new thing for somebody in their 60s or 70s. Like they certainly weren't taught that in school.
Damn.
And maybe when they were a kid, they didn't have that in their village or their town or wherever they lived.
Wow, that's
so
crazy.
It's just like, and it's just another piece of like spreading how effective the healthcare system is.
Yeah. Okay, and tell me about, well, yeah, okay, so what did you like the most about it?
Probably just like being there and being in a totally different environment. I always like that.
How many how many people were in your work crew from the States?
It was 4.
Were you the only white people in anywhere you went where it was like, okay, it's the white people are here and it's these 4 people?
Yeah, for the first week we didn't see a single other white person other than us 4.
Did the people in Ghana, like when I was down in, not in like the main cities, when I was in South America, if I was in Lima or Quito, like a capital city where tourists would kind of make their way through, but when I was out in like the towns and villages in South America, I would get like looks and like questions because they were not used to seeing a white dude, especially a 6'2", like, white guy. I'm like a head and shoulders above. So did people, were people like, yo, it's a fucking white dude? Or were they just like, oh, we've seen you guys before?
They were surprisingly indifferent and kind of ignored us pretty much everywhere.
Ignored as in like didn't acknowledge you? Or just like
didn't even,
it wasn't a big deal?
Wasn't a big no, like they acknowledge if you engage with them, they're super cool and polite.
Yeah.
But if you're just walking by, like
they're not
they won't
like,
even
oh my God, can I get your, no one was asking you for a picture.
No.
Okay.
No, and I've definitely experienced that in other parts of the world where it's like you're like it's like
a thing to see.
Like Matt Damon walking through a mall.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
That's
yeah.
what it feels like.
Yeah. No, people would come up to me.
That wasn't the case there at all.
Okay. All right. Crazy.
Sometimes little kids would wave and say hello, practicing their English, but it was more like the people didn't seem too surprised to see us at all. Like even in the outer neighborhoods of the like cities away from the capital, like nobody really seemed to care.
What was the other white person you saw eventually? Who were they?
We did see another, like a school group traveling, but that was more down by the ocean.
Yeah.
And then when we got to the capital city, there's, white people around, a lot of Middle Eastern people, Asians.
What's the capital?
It's Accra. It's like a major, it's a major, huge city, metropolitan with it's like a business center of West Africa.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of people there. But the first city we were in was Kumasi, which is about like 6 hours north inland. It's the capital of the Ashanti Empire. And that's
Ashanti?
Yeah.
Oh. Is that who she was named after?
I'm guessing there's some kind of connection. But it's like it was the Ashanti Kingdom.
It was
like
right next door to the Ja Rule Empire. It was under the Irv Gotti Murder Inc. clan. Okay, damn.
Yeah, so up there was no white people that I saw.
Yeah. As it should be. Leave Africa to the Africans. All right, here's a thing that I was very interested that you posted, and I don't know how many people really know this, but you posted on your Instagram. You saw some, I don't know if it was like a Chinese company or just like Chinese workers, but like tell us about kind of the backstory of why these Chinese people were there.
Yeah, so for the last while now, I'm not exactly sure how long, but particularly the last like 5 to 10 years, Chinese owned companies have been, and the Chinese government itself has been investing in infrastructure projects all over Africa. So they're basically sending in Chinese-owned companies run by Chinese guys from China who are like, civil engineers or whatever on the Chinese mainland. They're sending them to Africa, all over Africa, to build roads, bridges, water systems, irrigation systems, airports, basically like transportation infrastructure all around the continent.
Yeah.
And it's really it's
out of the goodness of their hearts.
Yes, exactly.
The Chinese are a philanthropic state, and they're just like, you know what? You know who needs a road right now? Ghana. Let's go down there and make these fools a road, dude. All right, so they're there, and I'm sure they're there for what? Mineral extraction, all sorts of.
They're there to, like, the finance behind it's a little over my head, but basically they're like putting African countries in debt with them for like paying to build these roads, and then also building the roads and the infrastructure they need to get their trucks to and from mines,
right?
Where they're mining.
So they're fucking them twice.
Diamonds, gold. Yeah,
they're fucking them on taking the shit from Africa and bringing it back to China to make money, and then they're also fucking them on, hey, the road we built you, which we need to use, we're actually going to charge you for this shit. That's great. That
may be a simplification, but yeah, it's along those lines.
I mean, someone's getting fucked in the ass, I imagine.
And it's not China.
And it ain't China. So, okay.
Yeah.
Because you posted like a couple pictures of these guys, like these Chinese dudes paving a road, right? Like you saw them, you were somewhere and these guys were working on a project.
Yeah. So I was really interested in this in college and like applied for some grants to do some more work on it on my own, like in the last few years, and kind of gave up on it. But so I like knew a bit about it and was like looking for it, and then I finally saw these two guys who were clearly Chinese, and then I looked a little closer and there's like trucks with Chinese characters on it, and they're just two Chinese guys with clipboards. One of them was on the phone just ordering around a bunch of African guys building the road. And the roads are rough. I mean, the roads are like, a lot of them are dirt, even in the main city, or sand with huge potholes and stuff. So, and they're turning those roads into just like perfectly smooth,
right, asphalt
Los
roads.
Angeles highway roads.
The old Cobalt Highway, baby. And
driving around, you see, like, I saw a couple huge facilities that were like concrete cement plants.
Okay.
With Chinese signs out front, all in Chinese letters on the building.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this isn't that well known. I mean, I know obviously people know that China is like, you know, going through their own growth and whatever inside of China, but like, yeah, like they got their hands and they got their fingers in other countries too.
Oh yeah, big time.
Because they need all this shit. They make all this shit for the world, so they need all these, you know, elements to keep building fucking, you know, fucking chips and transistors and cell phones and computer, all this shit that goes into our electronics. Like that shit comes from somewhere, you know?
Yeah, and it's really, you know, to be fair, it's really not all that unlike what European countries and countries in the Americas did.
Sure.
Taking resources from them too. So it's like just kind of
same
as it ever was on some level.
Yeah.
But it's just weird to see Chinese letters in the middle of the countryside in West Africa. It's just weird.
It's just, look, first of all, like, it's just weird. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but like your brain does need a few seconds too to process a person who is not, like, is so out of where you place them. Like when I was in Peru, right? Peru had a bunch of Chinese immigrants back in like the 40s or 50s maybe. And so much so that there was enough of them that they created their own kind of fusion cuisine called chiflan.
Chifas,
right? Yeah.
Chifa restaurants.
So it's like it's a mix of Peruvian, like Andean cuisine and Chinese food. So it's a literal like new cuisine because these Chinese people moved to Peru. And I actually don't remember why they moved there. I don't know if it was some type of I don't know. I don't know if they were there for jobs, like if there was some type of like jobs thing that they all moved down. I mean, it seems like an odd place for why did Chinese people move to Peru? But anyways, I went into one of these restaurants because I wanted to see it or whatever, and like it fucking throws your brain for a loop to see a Chinese dude speaking Spanish. Like it just fucks you up
totally
because it's also in the environment of like it looks kind of like a Chinese restaurant, like.
Yeah.
You know, so you're in there and you're watching this Chinese dude and then he's taking your order in Spanish and your brain just goes, what the fuck? What is this, dude? It's just like, it just is weird. So it's like, I don't know, like there's that aspect of strangeness when you're like, all right, there's these Chinese dudes in the middle of fucking Africa, you know, like it just doesn't compute all the time, you know, but that's the world, man. People are everywhere. People are fucking everywhere now. So
yeah,
that's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was weird, and you know, it was just kind of interesting to see after I've like been reading about it for so long.
Yeah,
everyone else was like, "Why do you care about this? This is weird. This is so boring." Like,
you're on the fucking precipice.
That's what most people think about. Most of the things I think are cool. So
yeah,
whatever.
Well, that's why you're a fucking loner in Wyoming, dude. It's okay. Who cares? Who cares, dude? You got your crew. You got your fucking crew. Plus, that shit, that's like that shit is like woke shit. That's like the actual woke shit is like, hey, why are these people fucking, like, what's the game here that these Chinese companies get to take all this shit from Africa, you know? Like, that's actually woke shit, is being like, are we sure that it shouldn't be going to the people who live here, you know? Like, now they're just going to be burdened with debt and they won't have their fucking own minerals. I mean, that's like actual, like, being woke.
Yeah, totally.
But, you know, we're just here on this fucking podcast trying to help the Africans.
I had bushmeat.
What is bushmeat? Monkey?
Some sort of animal from the forest. I don't know. They didn't know. But they served it to me and I ate it.
That's what they call it, is just bushmeat? Like, it's just, they kill something out there?
Yep.
And is it healthy to eat?
I mean,
who's they? Who do you mean they?
The people who were hosting us. So like
So they ate it too?
Yeah.
Bushmeat.
It's like a special occasion thing that they serve to us because we were guests.
But it's an unnamed animal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's some sort of deer or rabbit or something like that.
Okay.
It wasn't monkey.
Okay. Did you see any monkeys? Are there like monkeys everywhere?
I saw all those monkey heads.
Yeah.
And a couple of monkeys in cages, but no wild monkeys.
Okay. Crazy. So these are like the Wuhan markets, kind of. Like,
no, I think the Wuhan. I think the wet market is more. I've never been to one, but I'm pretty sure that's more like live animal stuff.
Oh, so some of these places mostly just had dead animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like meat, processed into cuts of meat animals.
Yeah.
I didn't see any. The only live animals I saw at a market were the live rats at the voodoo market.
Okay.
There were no live
monkeys.
I guess there were live chickens at the regular market, but that's pretty standard for everywhere.
Yeah. So the other thing that, like, if you haven't really traveled outside the U.S., people in the U.S. are unaware of, generally speaking, what dead meat smells like.
Yep.
Because in a grocery
Blood.
store, it's like sanitized, it's on ice, it's temperature controlled, it's behind glass. Like all that like sensory information is removed for the most part for the American consumer. But if you go down to like an open air market, like in like central, like when I was in Guatemala or anywhere in Central or South America, pretty much, like, meat has a fucking pungent odor that like hits you hard. It's dead flesh sitting there, and it's such a weird smell because you really like when I traveled, I was in my mid-20s. Like that was the first time I had really smelled it. I was just like, what the fuck is this shit? And it's like, yeah, this is meat, dude. This is what meat is actually like. It smells bad. It's dead.
Yeah, and it's not only like the meat itself. It's also like every other part of the animal. So like if you kill an animal and you cut it open, it's got like
entrails,
got blood and intestines and the stomach and the half digested food and all that is like you're ripping that out.
Yep.
And it goes on the floor and sprays everywhere, and that's a lot of what you're smelling too.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like yeah. And you don't get any of that here. It's all done away. It's just like
all
it's
sterile.
It's all for you right here. It's a little package, But yeah, because I and like when I was in fucking Central America, like they would be butchering cows on the side of the road. Like they were just like, yeah, we're gonna kill this cow like right here, and then we'll bring it down the road to the market. It wasn't like not all the time, but I saw a couple when I was like on a bus, just like, oh damn, they're like clean, they're like breaking down that cow right there,
Yeah,
and. Yeah, dude, it's way different. I remember too, like when we were in Guatemala, like you have to like, if you're ever eating any vegetables you get from the market, like you have to clean them really well, like because if not, like you'll get sick probably because like we're like, I was at a Spanish school and we took a field trip like out to the country, like out to the campus, which are like the fields where they grow all like the
yeah,
and we're fucking walking by and there's like these dudes with this huge bag of carrots. Like it looks like Santa's fucking toys. Like it's a massive amount of carrots in this thing. And they're washing it in the water, literally right next to a cow that is drinking and shitting and pissing in that water. Like it's just like they're 2 feet from each other. Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, like this is why you like Americans come here and like they fucking shit their brains out because it's like, we don't have the microbes, like we don't have that shit happening here. It's all it's just they put like fucking bleach and chlorine on the carrots that you buy here. Like they just fucking you get poisoned another way, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, it's different. Get out there in the world and see this shit.
When I was in India, we were sitting at this cafe like on the side of the street. It was like a little cafe with some street seating.
Yeah.
Ordered some chai, like a pot of chai.
Yeah.
Which is like tea and it comes pre-mixed with milk and sugar.
Yeah.
Super hot, and then you add more sugar to it in your cup. And we ordered it, we're drinking it, and the owner came out and was talking to us. Like, how do you like the chai? Oh, it's delicious. Oh, thank you. I'm very proud. The milk is from my own cow.
Oh.
And my wife or whatever, my daughter or somebody every morning milks the cow.
Mm-hmm.
And then we serve the milk from the chai. We're like, oh, that's cool. Where do you keep the cow? And he like gestured across the road and he's like, it's right there.
Yeah.
And the cow's standing in a pile of garbage, chewing on a dirty diaper. Or like a used.
Oh, God.
And we're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, great milk. Trash-fed cow, dude.
Yep.
Trash-fed cow.
It's just, you're right. It's just different. It's just like a lot more raw and real and not sanitized.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, the whole point of, you got to sell shit. It has, like here, it just has to be done in a certain way. Like you're just not getting that other ways. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's good. It's good to get out and fucking breathe in a little of that meat odor, get a little of that fucking, that meat juice up in your system. Well, that's dope, dude. I haven't been outside the country in nearly 10 years now, I think. The last place I went was Israel when I was 26. So that was like nine and a half years ago. So it's been a minute. It's been a while since I've left. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of the U.S. I got to go somewhere. I got to do something.
Go do some comedy in the UK?
I would like to. I would like to do like a UK run. I think that would be really fun and interesting.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, and I've never been to Europe before, so I think that would be fun to see. And yeah, it would be like a place that I could like do some spots and shit. But
yeah.
But I mean, in Europe would be cool, but it's not really the same as like Africa or India or it's just like it's very similar to what we do here.
Yeah,
they
in
say
some cases,
biscuits
even
instead
more like
cookies.
buttoned up and clean than here.
Would you like a biscuit? And that's like, you're like, what the fuck does that mean? They're like, it's just a cookie. You're like, oh, okay, never mind. Like, yeah, going to UK, doing like a UK thing would be a lot of fun. They have like comedy, English comedy everywhere now. Like, I have a buddy of mine is in Vietnam doing comedy shows right now. Like, they just,
really,
because I think there's like enough expats kind of scattered across the globe now, English speaking expats, where they like have whatever, they live there, they retired early, or they just retired outside the US, but they still like English entertainment is their native tongue, so they want to see it. Like, this was way before Tom Segura got big, but there's this documentary that I actually haven't seen. I kind of want to see it. I was just thinking about it a few weeks ago, but it's called I Need You to Kill, and it's Tom Segura, Chad Daniels, and I think this guy Pete Lee, and they go across like a swath of Southeast Asia, basically. There's like, I don't know exactly which countries, maybe Hong Kong even. I don't know if they were, I mean, I'm sure they weren't allowed to go into like mainland, but like maybe Hong Kong. But they did this whole tour for, like, they speak English, but it's like, it's in Asia, so they're just doing these like Asian countries, and it's like,
that sounds cool.
Yeah, might be worth checking out.
Yeah, well, Hong Kong would have a lot of,
Hong
tons
Kong
of English.
Yeah, for sure. But I forget what other countries, but they did like a whole tour, and then they made this like documentary about it. When way before these guys were like huge, they were just like kind of like regular LA comics,
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be fun to get out. I know you've been living this great life, and I've just been here. I was like jealous, dude. I was looking at it, I was like, fuck, he's like out in the world. I'm just in this room most days, so I gotta get out. I gotta get out there.
Well, as with anyone, the social media posts only show the interesting bits. A lot of it's just kind of rough.
Yeah, so are they like, well, if you go to like a grocery store in Ghana, like, are you able to get like stuff you could get here, or is it just like, damn, this is all shit that I've never really eaten before?
In Accra, the capital, there was a grocery store that could have been, it's like on the same quality and fanciness level as like a Whole Foods or New Seasons.
Oh wow, okay.
Like, they had coffee bar and a ice cream bar and a bakery and a restaurant and all that stuff.
Because these are like catering to like foreign business people who are like wanting and expecting a certain level of shit when they travel. Yeah,
that, and also I think just rising like middle and upper class in the capital city.
Yeah.
Which is pretty westernized and modernized.
Right.
Quote unquote. But like out in the some of the other parts of the country that I went to, I by no means went to the whole country, but I went to some other parts, and from what I could tell, it was like you just go to the market or you go to the corner store that has a little bit of produce and some rice and beans and cassava and all the stuff that they eat.
Yeah.
So but there's stores that they're more of a like gas station sized market where they have detergent and, similar to South America where there's detergent and cookies, biscuits, crackers, a bunch of soda, and then like some fresh produce up front.
Right.
That type of thing.
When I was in fucking Central America, I just like, they don't eat peanut butter down there. It's just like not a thing that's like big, and I just started like craving it so much, like, because it's just like one of my favorite foods. But yeah, it's like not in their diet really. Like peanut butter isn't really like a thing down there, and I just remember being like going to the grocery stores and like looking for it and being like, fuck, dude, like just get that craving, like those little things. It's crazy how much you have like attachments to these little things that you think are universal. I don't know, like you think peanut butter, it's like a pretty basic thing. You basically just grind up peanuts, but like whole cultures, whole parts of the globe are like, yeah, we don't fuck with peanut. What is peanut? You know, like it's just different. You start to realize just how specific your life is to where you are. You know,
totally. Yeah, the first week that we were there was like no coffee available.
Oh damn!
Which kind of sucked for the first day, but then I got used to it way faster than I thought I would.
That's probably good, honestly. It's probably good to take a break.
It's good to just get out of your element a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too about traveling is like you meet people and you can just tell like they are trying to do everything they can when they're in a foreign country to remain themselves. Like, I don't know, I just remember like meeting certain people, I'm like, damn, you're not even like trying to like understand this place at all. Like I remember I met these like Australian dudes and all they were doing is getting wasted, doing coke. They didn't try to learn any Spanish. I was like, so like why are you even here then, dude? Like I get it, like you're here to surf and shit, but like you don't want to ever be able to talk to anybody else. Like I don't know. I was just like, you're literally in a new country. Like you'll probably never be here again. Like you don't want to ever talk to any of the people who live here. Like they were just like, nah, dude, we're getting fucking shredded, you know. And I remember we went like a group of us went to a restaurant and I was the only one who could speak any Spanish, so I had to order for everybody. And I was just like, this is like, and I not expecting everybody to be fluent, but I was like, these guys had been down in Central and South America for months. It wasn't like they were just brand new. And I was like, you didn't take a class, you didn't like it was just like, I don't know. To me, I was like, well, then just keep surfing in Australia then. Like if you're not really trying to do anything out, I mean, you're just trying to party, which is fine. Like that's a way of traveling and tourists, I guess. But I don't know. It just seems kind of lame to do that. Like it just seems like a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, I completely agree. And a lot of the like backpacker hostel type places, there wasn't really anything like that in Ghana or Togo.
No, I can't see
places where
fucking,
there are.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people just keeping in their routine and like, oh, I'm going to go do this in a foreign place. But I'd rather like have the bush meat and actually go for it. Did you try the kui, the guinea pig?
No,
Peru?
But I was a vegetarian, so it was more just like, I would have had to get back into some basic meats for a little bit before I just dropped straight into guinea pig. But I saw them; they were roasting them at the markets and shit. And that's weird too, because like I didn't know that about it, and then you just show up and you're like, oh fuck, like they're going for it. But yeah, you would just see them doing their little rotisserie guinea pigs out there.
One night, it was like in late afternoon. This was in Peru. We were up on the roof deck of the place we were staying, hanging our clothes on a line to dry, and kept hearing this, like, it sounded like somebody hitting a gong, like dung. And then a couple seconds would pass, dung, dung, and we're like, what the hell is that? And we like figured out where it was coming from the ground on the other side of the building. And we look over and there's a yard. So it was like somebody's backyard, and there's some women like preparing food with huge pots boiling and like cutting vegetables into pots. And there's this woman reaching into this box of guinea pigs, live guinea pigs, and just like grabbing them by the legs and slamming their head on the side of the pot and passing it to someone else. Just one after the other.
Jesus Christ.
And we're like, okay.
Did you eat it? Did you eat it?
I tried it. I didn't order a whole one, but a friend ordered it, and I had a piece of it.
What was it?
Tasted like meat. It was like dark meat chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, God just kind of made all the meats taste similar, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I hadn't had meat. The other thing is, it's like I hadn't probably had meat in 5 years, so to just like be like, all right, let me dive back into meat with guinea pig, like I would have been fucking vomiting immediately.
Probably, yeah.
You know,
I totally get that. Yeah.
Even those like open air markets, like when I was around, I was like, dude, I'm like feeling pretty nauseous. Like it just that smell just is like, it's fucking pretty rank, you know. And I would be like, you try to get out of that area of the market pretty quickly. I'd be like, all right, I'm cool. I've seen this. I've smelt
there's
this.
blood puddles on the floor and stuff.
Yeah, and just that like yellowed. It has a certain color that you also don't see here because like we fucking dyed and everything, but there's that kind of like yellowish grizzle, and you're just like, ugh, yeah. But it's good to see, man. That's what it is. So, that's what it really is. So, yeah, I miss it. I got to get back out there. I got to figure out some way to do it while I still have time before my body completely gives up on me, Well, that's cool, dude. I'm glad that you guys got to go out there and do that shit. That's fun. That's cool that your job like kind of allows that, that you're in a career that like gets to do shit like that.
Yeah, it is. It's a big reason why I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that it's working out because like a lot of people it doesn't. So definitely grateful for that.
Yeah.
But also happy to be home.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, America's the greatest country on God's earth, and like, there's no reason to ever really leave it. And it's we fucking smash on all these other places, but it's good to see how the lowers live. It's good to step out of the ivory tower for a little bit and see how the underlings are doing before you climb back up.
There was an interesting thing that happened in Accra, and we were trying to go to this bar on a rooftop of a building, and they didn't let us in. They're like, first of all, you're wearing shorts. Second of all, you're wearing sandals, so you can't come in.
Oh, I actually...
We're like, okay.
Yeah. Like, all of a sudden, okay, all right. I was just fucking eating bush meat over there, but now we can't wear fucking shorts and sandals. How hot was it? Isn't it, like, hot?
Oh, it was 95 to 100 every day. Every day.
Damn.
And when I got back here, it was 20 below.
Oh, yeah, dude. You're out in the fucking heartland right now. Holy shit.
Yeah. It was hot as hell. That was like the worst part of it for me.
Yeah, the heat, because it takes your body. It takes your body like a little bit of time to really be like, all right, we've calibrated enough. I remember when I got to Mexico being like, yo, I don't know if I'm about to be able to last down here. Like, it was just so fucking hot. And like, you kind of, I don't know, like in Mexico, like I would still wear like long sleeves sometimes just so I like wouldn't get burned all day. Like you'd be like out and you're just like, damn, I can't keep putting sunscreen on. I'm about to get burned. So you just like, but yeah, dude, I would just remember being like kind of like sweat delirious for like the first few days, just being like, dude, this is, how are people surviving in this? And then like your body kind of clicks over and it's like, all right, we kind of get this, like we're figuring this out. And then in a week or so you're like, it's hot, but you're not like dying, you're not like, fuck, dude, I gotta go, so
it was tough. I was like sweating into the camera, onto the camera. I'm like, it's one thing if you're just hanging out, walking around and just sweat freely, but if you're like working or trying to be presentable and professional, that's when I'm like struggling to keep myself together. It's just like you go outside in the morning and just like lighting a candle on your body, and by the time you're done, you're just like a melted. You
could have been the medical emergency. You could have just passed out and been like, oh, there's a white victim that we have to help. Yeah, dude, no, it's crazy. And then like the summers in like Saudi Arabia when it's like 160 degrees, it's like, dude, how is this fucking possible, bro? How is this possible? Yeah, we're lucky, dude. We're fucking lucky.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy place to live, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit here, but it's like, yeah, like when you think of your basic human needs, like you're just like, oh my God, yeah, this is like crazy that this is where we ended up. Like we could have just popped out somewhere else. We could have just popped out of a lady's pussy in fucking rural Ghana, and then it would be like, all right, this is our life. It's hot as shit, dirt roads, fucking what? Like it's just a different ass. It's a whole thing.
It's good to see because, as frustrated as I get for doing like a 2-factor password authentication for the 5th time in a day, I'm like, well, I did see that woman walking 9 miles to get water for her baby. So
maybe I shouldn't
complain.
Up. Yeah. Thank you, Google, for making sure my stupid little identity is protected. Thank you so much.
It's like, I'm not the first person to say this, but it's just good perspective on your own life.
Yeah, and you're a tiny piece of shit too, which is like nice to know. Like you when you're only in your little bubble, you're like, this is it, this is the world, and then you go out and you're like, oh fuck, I'm like there's 8 billion people out there just doing exactly what I'm doing. Like they're just in their own little thing, and it's good to be like, yeah, I'm not it. Like I ain't it. There's a bunch of me's. There's just a bunch of fucking dudes, you know. Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah. Well, my life has been the same, Jack. I have not had any adventures.
Yeah. How have you been?
It's good. I was trying to think. Like, all right, do I have any stories of, you know? I was in Philadelphia, which was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Good show.
Great show. Very fun times there. Made comedy feel fun again because New York comedy is just kind of this brutal grind that you're like, oh, maybe it's not fun, and then you go out and you're like, oh, this is cool. I forgot. This is very fun. So, yeah. And then got a bunch of stuff on the road coming up, which will be cool. But yeah, you know, it's very day by day here for me. Each day is it's like a reset where you're like, is this going to be a fun one, or is this one going to be like last night I went to an open mic in New York City that was full. They didn't have enough room for us. And I was like, boy, I'm not even getting up at the open mics here right now. Like it was like it was a low, to not be able to do a 3-minute set in basically what is like a big closet. This venue is like just a big closet. It's like smaller than my room, basically.
What venue?
It's called the Tiny Cupboard. It's in Brooklyn. They have like a main showroom, but then they do these open mics upstairs in this like, yeah, because it's like a big ass closet, you know. And we walked in last night, and he was like, "Oh, it's full." I was just like, "Okay, all right, dude." So yeah, but you know, meeting some good people, doing some like I had my first show at the Stand, which was fun, and that went really well. Self-produced.
Your show?
Yeah, me and my buddy Ben put
nice.
on our own show at the Stand. So we're trying to like make that like a new monthly thing that we get to do. So that was cool.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that was a really fun time. And let's see. There was one other thing I was gonna say, but I forgot now. But yeah, so that was fucking dope. And you know, it's just like a slow steps, basically. But
yeah,
you know, that's okay.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, you did kind of just get there.
Truly, I mean,
not to comedy,
no,
but to New York comedy. You just got there. I'd say it's going pretty well.
Yeah, November, December. I'm coming up on, let's see, I've been here November, December, January. So I just hit 3 months, basically. So yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
And we've had like a complete global warming winter. This is a record. No snow.
Really?
Zero snow. It's like kind of sad. I really wanted like a white New York. You know, I don't know, New York in the snow. Like, how cool is that? Like, we didn't get that at all. I mean, maybe we could still get some in February, but it's like, it's crazy. You know, it's fucking crazy.
Huh.
I'm trying to figure out a video that I can make here in New York. I really want to get back into video making. So I'm trying to like find like, I had an idea of like trying to like follow like or like do like a day in the life of one of those like food delivery guys. Because they're like everywhere here. But I saw a few people had kind of done one, and it would take a little bit of effort. You know, it's not the easiest thing because these guys are fucking out. I would want to like, it would be cool to like rent a bike and like follow a dude around for the day, you know, and like film it and then interview him and whatever. But it would take a little bit of like gear and like, I don't know if I could do it by myself. So just trying to find new projects that I can do that are not stand-up comedy.
That are comedy or like
I don't even think comedy. I kind of want to like I like having shit that's not necessarily pressured to be funny. Like just like
yeah,
This is like more like for me. I like doing stuff like this. If there's some funny moments, sure, but like the goal isn't comedy. I don't know. At some point, you need your brain to be working on something that's not comedy, or else I think it just gets kind of exhausted. You know, like
yeah,
it just
I could
starts.
see that
It
sure.
just starts to run out of like comedy. Like I don't know. I think it feeds it. Like, all right, I'm doing this thing that's not particularly like humor based, and then you go back to like, all right, now I can see there's a distinction. This is funny. This is how it should be funny. So I don't know. I'm just thinking about shit like that because it is kind of nice to have your hand in something that's not just like always this one focus, you know? So
yeah, totally.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, keep walking around and something will catch your eye, you know?
Yeah. I just want to like get back to making like videos that are more like in the journalism quote side of things versus just, you know, I do stand up every night. I write jokes every day. Like at some point your brain just kind of gets like, all right, dude, like let's do something else, you know? Like I have other ideas besides a new dick joke. You know, like I have other things that I'm interested in besides just that aspect of life. So I'm trying to figure that out, something that I potentially could do on my own, you know, that I wouldn't necessarily even need, like maybe if I got a GoPro or something, some setup where I could just, like that guy I think you recommended to me, who's the traveling guy, the bald traveling dude.
Oh, Bald and Bankrupt?
Yeah, like he just shoots it himself. He's just like has his little camera set up that he like goes, it's kind of like a walking vlog, and then he like might turn it to somebody to interview them. But that's like all a one-man setup kind of thing, which I kind of am thinking about instead of having to always rely on a cameraman, you know, like this. It's it just takes an extra person's day to get involved, and I don't know that many people here yet to really do. So we'll see.
Well, talking about like wanting to travel more and do something, find something interesting. Maybe have you been up to the Flushing Chinatown?
No.
It's like up in Flushing.
Okay.
Huge Chinese neighborhood and just international neighborhood, but it's like the Chinatown in Manhattan, but bigger, more interesting.
Oh, crazy. Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's more interesting. It's much bigger, and it's like more industrial, I guess. There's like warehouses and all kinds of cool stuff happening, and food and all that stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. Well, I'll have to go up there.
Yeah, walking around, you'll be able to find some stuff that's interesting.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I just got to do, I don't know. It's like New York there's so much going on here, and comedy is obviously the reason I'm here, and like there's so much of it, but there are also people doing all sorts of cool shit, and it's like it would be kind of cool to like get in with some, you know, a different group of people who might, we make this type of video, not just like, you know, like I don't really have any interest in making those like 1 minute Instagram comedy sketches. Like I know those are like very popular, and I see a lot of people who've done really funny things, and they got a big following off of it, but I don't know. I just have almost no interest in like doing more of that shit. Like, I don't know. It's just not really.
Well, that's not going to flex that other part of your brain that wants something different either.
Dude, my friend, she's just moved to New York, and she was telling me that like she's like a writer, and she was telling me that she's going to these like writers open mics, like literary open mics. And she was like telling me some of the shit she sees there, and she's like, "You have to come." I was like, "Look, I see enough human misery at a comedy open mic. The last thing I want to do is go use my free time to see other bad artists." She's talking about these people like reading their little passages and like falling to the ground crying, like just like over the top theater kid, drama kid bullshit. And I was like, "Look, I've seen so many bad comedians every week. I am not going to go see someone." I was like telling her, I was like, at some point I need to see good art or I will kill myself. I just need to see someone who's good at something. I can't just hang out and watch people be bad all the time. I like just need to see people who are good at what they are trying to do, because it fucks your brain up. You're just like, God, just... I mean, dude, I sat through this open mic the other day, and I'm just like wanting to claw my eyes out. Like, It's just these people, and I get it. Like, we were all bad at one point, but it's like, you just want to be like, why do you think this is working? Like, you just want to be like, stop it right now. Like, don't continue this. It's not working. And I just can't imagine seeing like slam poets or like theater majors reading their monologue and crying on an empty I refuse. I refuse to participate in that. I refuse.
Like, I've seen enough open mics. I don't need to see more that have bongos.
No, there's no reason. If you're wearing a beret and doing this, no thanks. I don't need it. So, yeah, it's got to be something else. There has to be something else that I can go watch or view. But all this shit is so expensive here too. You know, he's like, you could go see Broadway, but it's like so expensive. But
yeah,
I can't just watch bad art forever. I have to just see someone's dreams kind of coming true. Really, I have to see someone who it's actually working out for, and not just like a bunch of people are just looking at each other in this like invisible desperation of like, will this work out for literally any of us right now? Like, you know, like because that is the vibe in an open mic. I don't know if people have ever been to an open mic where literally anybody can sign up, but there is and it's weird because I've done them for so long that you get used to it. It doesn't, I don't even feel it anymore. But if I like stepped away for a few weeks and came back, I'd be like, what? It's like a force field that you walk into. It's just like this like density of like the room of like everybody knows that for the most part everybody in this room for sure isn't great. Okay, some people might be good, but the greatness, it's not like LeBron is also just at the open gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like at some point people like actually like age out of doing this, or they career out of doing this. So you walk in and it's just like, okay, we all know that we're not that good. Like, we just know that we're not where we want to be. And that just permeates every piece of it. And it's a strange place to spend your 20s and 30s. It's a strange place to spend a decade of your life. But yeah, I will not be doing that for another art form. I will not be doing that I will not be observing somebody trying to chase their dreams in a different world. Also, I don't really understand the point. I mean, maybe I didn't quite understand her, but I don't really understand the point of even reading your writing out loud. Like, what, are they going to edit it for you? Like, are they going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to write a novel or a book, or maybe it's poetry, maybe that's why. But like, I don't think it was all poetry. Like, if you're reading something that you wrote and it's only going to be meant to be read, like, I don't really understand the need to practice it in front of, there's no performance.
Yeah.
There's no, like, stand-up comedy is a performance. That's why you have to perform for even other comics. You have to get how you're going to do it on stage. But if you're just reading, like, well, here's a section from my book, that's like, well, who cares? I don't know. This is only going to be read on a page.
I would guess, I don't know what they would say, but I would guess that their response would be, it's to get a visceral reaction in real time from people, because when you write, you don't get that. You just kind of like goes out into the world and people write reviews about it like after the fact.
Seems like you're kind of selling the material a little bit harder when you're throwing human tears into it, though.
That's
I mean, the material.
That's a good point.
If it's a good book, you'd be like, "Oh, I'm feeling that this character is sad." Not, I needed the author to start breaking down on an empty stage in Brooklyn to tell me that this is sad. I'm getting upset thinking about this event right now. I'm actually getting upset thinking about having to sit through this. But I went
to a film screening once where the guy who made it at the end broke down crying, like sobbing hysterically.
What kind of movie was it? It was like Ghostbusters 2.
Minions.
Yeah. It's like, Gru.
It was like...
some art film, or was it a documentary about something sad?
No, it was like a short, drama.
He started crying over a short?
Yeah.
No. You got to give us a full-length A24 movie if you're going to start crying.
I'm talking like broke down.
So he made it. So he knew what the movie was. It wasn't like he was like seeing it for the first time.
Correct.
No. So what? Everybody just had to watch this guy cry publicly?
Everyone was just like, ugh.
And did other, like, when you watched it or other people watch it, were you like, this is not, was it even good?
No, I didn't think so. I mean,
Dude.
it looked nice, but I didn't even really understand what was happening.
You never do with those shorts. You never do. You never understand it. Damn. So he's publicly crying over a bad short film that he made.
Yeah.
What a douche. Yes. What a fucking self-congratulating fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Oh my God. These people, man. The people just take their art too seriously. It's just one of the worst qualities a human can exhibit, I think. It really is. A person who is too up their own ass about the art that they've made is loathsome, I would say. It's truly loathsome kind of person who would ever believe. I'm under the pretty strict belief that every artist, from a musician to a comedian to a filmmaker to a writer, should pretty much hate everything they've ever made.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really should always kind of look at the thing you just created and go, that could have been better, but I didn't live up to it. Every joke I write, every set I write, I pretty much, even if it's a great set, even literally if it's like, objectively, people were laughing the entire time, I walk off stage and I have a few minutes of a high, and then I go, I fucked up that line. I wish I had done, like, I just start going through the mistakes. I go, I wish I had done this. Why did you end it that way? Like, I had one of the better sets of the year in Philly on Friday. Like, it was like really loose, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is like what comedy should be for me. And like, it was a great night, and I still was like, damn, like that whole ending piece didn't work. Like, I just like knew there was pieces that could have made it better. And then you see these people who are like crying at their own creation. It's just like, we're living in different worlds here, dude. I mean, what the fuck? What are you doing, dude? This is embarrassing. This isn't living.
And the ones that are doing that, like Christopher Nolan's not doing that.
No,
he's like thinking, oh, well, Interstellar would have been better if I did this. It's like,
yeah, you like
really good people are hating it too, probably.
Yes. The people who are dissecting it for every molecule and be like, if we had just cut this a little bit differently, we would, But yeah, there are people who do it for different reasons, and that guy is clearly doing it for his just own, I need the world to see that I'm sad, and I've made something that's sad, and I can't contain it. And there's a room full of people eating popcorn, be like, your shit wasn't even that good. Here's a Q&A. Why didn't you make that better? Here's another one. Why are you being a fucking pussy at your own screening?
Or crying at a Brooklyn poetry slam.
Yeah, stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. Put the stop sign up, folks. All right.
Hipsters didn't care.
No, they care. So what? They care. I thought
it was like the whole thing was like, whatever.
No, that I don't know. No, because those people say whatever, and then as soon as you do anything they disagree with slightly, it's over for you. So no, they care extremely. They try to give you both. They're like, life is pointless and it doesn't matter. And then you're like, you say a word that they don't like, and it's like, like no, they care. They care too much. Folks don't care really about anything, okay? Don't care about China stealing Ghana's resources. Don't care about your own poetry. Don't care about your stupid short film. And just have a good time trying to make something out there of yourself. That's the show. Thanks for listening. It was good to catch up. This is a Jack episode, which is you guys get a little treat into Jack's world. Jack's always just the guy, making this whole thing possible. But we got to learn a little bit about you, and I like that. Took the pressure off me today,
Oh, good. Well, thanks for letting me
It's good. I
ramble.
feel like the listeners should know. People ask me about you, and it's good that they...
Really?
Yeah, like they're like, oh, you're going to do one with Jack this week? Or like, but I feel like they don't know you. Maybe they'll hate it now. Maybe they didn't want to know anything about you, but...
They'll hate me now.
Yeah, but it's cool. You're a world-traveling man, and, you own a house. Like, you're actually doing very well for yourself, so...
Thank you.
But yeah, folks, that is the show. We'll be back again with Jack and I next week. This is I'm very confused on the dates. Today is Friday, the whatever. What's today, Jack? What day is this?
February 1st. Oh, today it comes out. Sorry, the 3rd.
The 3rd. Okay, yeah. I will be. I don't have anything this weekend really, but starting February 8th through like the 12th or 13th, I'll be in Denver, and I have pretty much all the Denver dates on my website, thecomedianjake.com. There's a few other guest spots that I didn't put up because I'm just dropping in on these shows. But the ones that I'm doing significant time on, those are all on the website. So if you know people in Denver or have folks that are going to be there that week, send them out. All the shows in Denver are always great. And yeah, got the Canaan dates in March that are also on my website. And I will be out in Boise for the Tree Fort / Comedy Fort Music Festival for a week. Seeing some bands, doing a couple sets here or there. Going to be a fun time. Dylan Jenkins is going to be there. We're going to split a hotel room, probably do some mushrooms together, see some music. Fun times.
Do a pod, maybe
bring the pod out there. Bring the pod,
Sweet.
Folks. I think I'm going to bring some recording gear to maybe do some street interviews too. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, subscribe, follow, do all that bullshit. Thank you so much. Rate and review. The people who did, when I did that little review thing, we got like 4 or 5 reviews off that. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll catch you next week, folks. Stay well. Bye-bye.